Hey, it's Penny here with Les, and welcome back to Looking Out and Up. All right, this has been bothering me, amongst other things, but not bothering me. Anyways, I've always had this kind of radar on what a good wife would be for my sons. And now, since none of them are available, I can still see a good wife traits or their values. And I have a lot of, well, we know a lot of single young men that I just wish they'd bring them over to my house and I could, spend an evening with the couple, and then afterwards he calls me up. Well, what do you think?
We've done this before. We've done this before. People stop speaking to us at some point over our opinions when they.
I know, but
it's not a good idea to ask somebody probably what they think of your significant other. It's probably not good for guys to do that, especially their parents. Well, maybe even their mother.
Not their parents, but a third party. I can tell them, are you interested in this female for the oink boink boink boink, or are
for the boink boink boink?
Yes.
Okay.
The horizontal bob.
Okay.
Or are you interested in this female for the future Mrs. You? Oh. And that's where
future ex Mrs. Me.
No. That's where I just I could have told you she was not you'd be wasting your money.
Okay, hold on. So what you're saying is that how long does it take you to, we'll say, give an appraisal
okay,
of the possible future mate? So knock on the door. Maybe you probably prepared a dinner or something. We're going to sit down.
It takes me one night.
Well, yeah, it takes me one night too.
No,
we got a lot in common that way.
It takes me one night from just talking and.
Well, what if she's nervous, or what if she doesn't put her best foot forward that evening? What if she's clumsy, or just not really up?
That's all taken
not really up
into
to your shenanigans.
Whether she's shy, but would you say I'm a pretty good reader of people?
Yeah, yes, you are. You're a much better reader of people than I am, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I just feel so bad when, after a couple of months...
Well, this is kind of funny because Penny and I now have, we have a rule. And there are exceptions to this rule. We pretty much do not attend weddings. We have stopped attending weddings. And the younger the people are, the more likely that we're not going to attend the wedding.
Why is that?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for it. The number one reason would be because men aren't men and women aren't women any longer. They think that the roles are substitutable. They can actually exchange on and off. They don't have to fulfill a traditionally male role or a traditionally female role. Those roles are now interchangeable. That's one of the biggest issues probably to most relationships, is that people don't see that this is ingrained in us. And it's not, people think it's silly history or culture, and it's got no bearing on reality at all. Women can do whatever men can do. Men can do whatever women can do. Causes a lot of confusion, and people now are scared to say or to have an opinion that in fact the two sexes are not equal. They may ultimately be equal as far as their footing and their importance in the relationship, but the two are not equal. Men and women are complementary and antagonistic. Does that make sense to people out there? Their differences and what the differences that they bring to the table are what make a relationship strong.
They each have different those
responsibilities
to fulfill, and I believe that has been so overlooked.
I agree with you. Yeah, that's a
by both parties. Because you know what? They don't discuss any of these things before they get married. They don't just.
or even before they get serious, right?
Yes.
I mean, the amount of people who have spiritual beliefs or have a religion and they're willing to date somebody or start getting involved with somebody who doesn't share that belief system that's intrinsic, that they were raised in, and people can laugh at it and think it's not important. To some people it's only minorly important, to other people it's very important. But these are things like this that, like you say, are not discussed. Oh well, I'll put off going to church while I'm dating him. It's he'll come around, he'll folks, that's not how most relationships are going to work. You sometimes as you get older, um, if you've built a pretty good relationship, you will change together. I mean, Penny and I have certainly changed together through the years. Um, we had we had some pretty vast differences when we got together, but none of them were religious in nature, and none of them were. We saw eye to eye on the importance of faithfulness and being monogamous in our relationship. We both agreed on those factors. We didn't want to be dealing with a cheating spouse and things like that. Those things were ironed out very early, and like neither one of us were, in a traditional sense, religious. But we had differences politically. We had differences initially from kind of just even how we viewed the world a little bit. But they weren't anything that was, something that we couldn't obviously get over. And just I mean, Penny obviously came around to my way of thinking. That's she now sees the world much more like I do. But no, so you're, we'll just use a hypothetical, and I hate hypotheticals. So your son comes home. Well, your son says, "Hey, I'm seeing this girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you guys to meet her," which our sons would not do this unless it was serious, because they got Dragon Mom at home, and they know that whoever's coming through this door is going under the microscope. This is
I think any mom
surgeon.
would do that.
This is surgeon.
I
Penny.
think any mother who loves her son would take the microscope to her son's potential mate.
Okay, so back to this. So how does this go?
Well,
Your son says, "Hey, I want you to meet. I want to pick something that sounds like none of our quote unquote sons' significant others, because our sons are all in meaningful relationships, and to our knowledge, all of them have fantastic ladies in their lives. I mean, we have got wonderful step grandchildren. Just the way that our boys are being treated and have been treated by their significant others now.
Well,
we don't really
why?
concern ourselves about.
Because I approve of them.
Yeah, you approve of all. They have all gotten the stamp of well, one is still kind of unknown because she's rather newish. And we have not had a chance to meet her. We have not met her because she's far away in a distant galaxy and a time long, long ago. But no, we have a son who lives on the West Coast, and we are kind of in the Midwest, whatever.
But the two criterias that my sons have known ever since they were growing up was, I told them, don't you ever bring a girl home for me to meet if she does not cook and she does not clean. Those are the two basic.
She's not clean.
No.
But she has to clean.
She has to clean.
Clean what?
And she has to cook.
What does she have to clean?
Maintain the household.
Oh, okay.
She has to maintain the household. I'm not talking about being immaculate. I'm just talking about, I better not need to move things aside so I can just walk to the bathroom. Okay?
All right.
And she better know how to cook. Reason is, I need to know that my sons are getting healthy meals in their bodies because I put healthy food into their bodies when they were young.
So they're not screwing up what you've worked so hard to create.
That is right.
Okay, all right.
Those are the two main criteria. She better know how to cook, and she better know how to clean. And I'm just not talking about the knowledge of it. No, she better be accepting of her role and do it with a smile on her face. I'm not joking.
Ooh, and a smack on the ass.
But, and I think those two basic skills are so lacking in the young ladies, or even in ladies my age, which
and
I'm
older,
shocked.
and older.
And older. The amount of women who don't know how to cook or clean. It just blows my mind, and they wonder why their relationship doesn't work. I don't want my sons to be working all day and then coming home and having to cook dinner.
Well, I don't want my sons working all day either. I want them to have their women out in the world, making their way.
I don't want them to come home and having to change diapers or... No.
Oh.
Because what my mother told me
mm-hmm.
when I was younger, she told me, she says, Leck, you want career? You want career? You no forget, you husband number one. You husband number one. Then you have your career.
Hold it, this is the mother. This is your mom, the one who...
My mom.
Yeah, who broke the guy's leg with the table leg.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't have a good enough career. Okay, all right.
So that it always stuck to me that my husband is number one in my eyes. I will.
Well, I haven't really been.
Take care of my husband.
I haven't really been feeling like that lately.
You've been feeling neglected.
I've been feeling a little neglected. I'm feeling like a.
No, but.
And I.
It's what I'm seeing is oh my gosh! After I pass away, there's going to be grandmothers soon. Grandmothers with they know how to put on these big fake eyelashes, and they know how to put on their fake nails, and they know how to dye their hair. They've
all got tattoos.
They all got tattoos. Mm. But ain't none of them know how to cook or clean.
That's
and even they might know. It's not important.
I tell you what, that's going to have people leaving the nursing homes in droves, is when they have to look at those old wrinkled up tattoos that all these women are sporting. Who wants to see that every day when you got to help change an old person's diaper? Come on. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody. I don't want to. Who wants to see droopy tattoos? I don't want to see droopy tattoos.
No, so ladies. Be accepting. Learn how to cook and clean.
All right. Do you think that there's we've actually had an episode on this, so the whole keeping him fed and the ball sack empty, and that goes back to that, right? So it's really actually we discussed this on that episode. It's very, very easy to keep a man, for the most part, happy unless you've just got a degenerate man in your life. In which case, you have to kick him to the curb. There's no time for women to have to deal with guys who are just degenerates, and guys the same for you. I mean, if it's men are not hard to keep happy. We discussed this. Fed. Well, the other F word, and you're saying, clean, right? It's keep things cleaned up, keep things looking appropriate around the house. And I agree with those things. I agree with all those things.
What's that old saying? You don't shit where you eat?
Yeah, that is the old saying, don't shit where you eat. Yeah.
But me stepping into some of these houses, a lot of these houses are apartments, and I'm like, come on, honey. Our house is not immaculate. I'm allergic to dusting. But I do keep the house.
She's also allergic to emptying the lint trap on the dryer. I always have to empty the lint trap on the dryer.
The house is picked up.
Yeah, and even when even when the children, even when they were small, you didn't come home. But of course, we didn't have a lot either. So we've gotten into that in other episodes too. We didn't have a lot, but there was always, the children certainly always had toys and things But yeah, you didn't. I didn't come home to tripping over toys, but you were also one that it was when the children were old enough, and they didn't have to be very old. They were expected to pick their own stuff up. You know.
They were washing their own clothes when they were in fourth grade.
Mm-hmm. Learning to wash clothes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
but way before that, learning to pick up their stuff, right?
I mean,
Being responsible.
There's adult females who don't even know how to wash their own clothes.
We've actually had this. This was something that brought to our
blows
attention.
my mind.
Yeah, ruining our families, ruining a dryer over.
So what I'm saying is, ladies, the two basic skills that you can.
Well, there's a third one.
That you can bring to the table the banquet of life with someone. You have to offer something. And the fake nails is what kind of offering is that? You can't eat fake nails. Your long fake eyelashes, no. It's only so good for maybe the first couple of months you're together, but after that, they're not much use. Sure, you can spread your legs, but I'm talking about if you're looking for you want a long-term relationship, geez, start enjoying cooking and enjoy cleaning. You can't offer that to a man. What else can you offer? Nothing.
Yeah, I think this has become kind of a prevalent attitude, right? So somehow today it seems like women are much more, they think that just their mere presence is enough to woo a man. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, your mere presence is enough to woo a man. It's not enough to keep a man. A man is more than happy to have a dime on his arm, right? A 10 on his arm. He's not so happy to keep her if she's not doing basic things, like you say, providing value. And I've got news for everyone in the audience. We all have to provide value. Ultimately, we all have to. If you're not providing value to your children are not going to want to have a relationship with you when they get older. Your children are not going to want to have anything to do with you. We are all on a value-based system as human beings. It may sound cold, it may sound shallow, but that's just a fact of the matter. The only time that there is an exception to this is when you are in a long-term relationship and something happens to the other person in the relationship. And by then, I hope you've built up a relationship that other person is willing to take on the burden of having to care for you if something does, God forbid, something happens to you. You're disabled in some way, shape, or form. And now
that's what they should look at. Men, women, if you're considering committing yourself to one relationship, just pause and look at them and look way into the future when you're getting old and your joints are starting to get achy and you're just not at your tip-top shape and you're starting to get sick. Look at this person that's sitting in front of you that you're thinking about committing your life to. Would they be willing with their heart and soul to take care of me when I can't take care of myself? That's, to me, that's a deciding factor whether they're the one or not. And if I'm a man and I'm looking at the woman, yeah, we had, good horizontal bob. But if I look at you and think, wait a minute, you don't like to cook, we eat out all the time, you don't do anything. And what value are you going to be to me when I need somebody to cook me some food, somebody to wipe my ass, somebody
to assist, right? You are looking for, folks, you are looking for a partner. You're not looking for a sex slave. You are not looking for a person who can read a menu. You are looking for a partner. And we discussed this, like I say, in the other episode. Um, I kind of lost my train of thought there. The- People have to be able to bring something to the table. They have to be able to offer something in a relationship. And most people, I mean, this is where shame on you guys for since this is kind of a picking a female, picking a female spouse or partner. Shame on you guys for lowering your standards. We all know, guys, especially between the ages of 18 and 30 or whatever it is, yes, they're going to chase the hot piece of ass. We all get that. But when it's time and you are looking to settle down, you are looking for like Penny had talked about, you're looking for somebody who is going to be a lifelong partner, somebody who is going to take care of you if things go bad, or ultimately when things do start going bad. You have got to up your game. You have got to decide how important looks are. You have to decide how important the butt is. You have to decide how important all of those physical features are versus somebody who wants to share a life with you,
Because
somebody who wants to be a
I'm
partner.
telling you, the looks will fade. The looks will fade.
Well, they haven't for you, dear.
Oh,
You're still just as
you
hot
look.
as can be. I just
Their looks will fade. They will gain weight. They will look nothing like
well,
they did.
here's an ugly truth, ladies. Here's an ugly truth. This is you can. I know I'm going to get all kinds of hate on this. Your value is dropping as years pass. A man's value is not necessarily dropping as the years pass. As a man gets older and is more set and owns all of his things and has all of his stuff, and young women will still find him attractive. Younger women will still find him attractive. He is a catch. If he is single, that well, even if he's married, I guess in some women's eyes, but he is a catch, ladies. That unfortunately for the most part does not work in reverse. That is, women are losing value on the market as far as finding a good man with every passing year. You are into your mid 30s and you're going to start becoming more desperate and willing to settle because the vast majority of men are I shouldn't say the vast majority of men. Most men who are looking for a long-term relationship do not want to go into a relationship with children ruled out completely. There will be no children because I'm 41 and there's not going to be any children. Most men, if they have never been married before, children are still somewhat in their mind. They don't know if they want children or not yet, and usually it's a wife who pushes that over the edge, right? Men are like, well, I'd like to have children, and maybe I'm not sure. I think I'd like to have children, and usually it's the woman who comes along and says she wants children, and the guy is like, that sounds like a great idea. Women, as time passes, here again, your value or what you have to offer is dropping. It's declining. It's not getting better as time goes by. You better find yourself in a long-term relationship. And if not, if you haven't found yourself in a long-term relationship by your mid 30s, you're going to have to start readjusting about what type of men it is that you are looking
What
for.
was that one study that we had read that the women that the career women?
Yeah, the women who had put off men until they had set themselves up they had gotten to the point in their career that they wanted to. Well, yeah, I forget. This is a couple of years ago. This is a few years ago, and they were now entering the pool. They wanted to be wives now. They were 38 and 40 and 37, and they found out that really all they were to men who were interested. They were going to bars. They were going to places to pick men up. They were on Tinder. And all these men wanted them for was pretty much a one night stand. Because it's ingrained in men too. Going in, they think that I must be hot because I picked up a 27-year-old man. Now, he's good looking and he's all of this. And they find out that he really has no long term interest in you because you're not able to offer the things that he is still seriously contemplating. Having a family, starting a family, he thinks he might want children. Well, that's not going to be a possibility for most women that are above 40 years old, and the risks and stuff that get involved. And even at that, what can they have, one child? Well, what if he thought he wanted 3 children or 4 children? And yeah, these women were finding out that they were, even though they were still, I mean, these ladies were attractive. These ladies had good careers. These ladies, and you know what that, I'm here to tell you, ladies, you know what that attracts? That attracts the guy who wants to be the freeloader. That's who you are appealing. And now we're right back to what Penny had brought up earlier. He doesn't want anything to do with you when you start to fall apart. He's moving on. He's taking as much as he can, and he is going to move on when basically that ship has sailed, right? You're not 38 and hot, or 42 and hot, or 42 and good looking with a good career. Let's progress here. Let's go down the road. And now you're 55 or 60. Is he still wanting to, and we're going to say he's 12 years younger, something like that. He's 48. Is he going to want to remain in that relationship? Well, I'll tell you this. If he remains in the relationship, it's for money, and he's probably got a side piece. He's already playing the field. He's spending your money on his next piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like I say, we're very value, all people, all relationships are built on value, folks. And if you're not bringing value to the table, you're not a catch. Just come to the grips with the fact. And you want to know the best part about all of this? It's all fixable. None of this is beyond being able to be repaired, and it's not as difficult as what people want it to be, is it, Penny? I mean, ultimately, to be able to keep the house clean and to be able to learn to start putting some meals together is not a bridge too far. Most people
it's
are going.
It's a fingertip away.
Yeah.
To learn.
Yeah, we do have an incredible tool at our fingertips, right? We do have the ability to start learning, and something that's lost in this world, it's too bad, is even like mentoring, right? Finding a lady who has been happily married for 20 or 25 years and being able to mentor. How is it that you put what is it that you do around the house? And I know this all sounds crazy, folks, but my wife would be, Penny would be just floored if a young lady came in here and said, well, you have a happy marriage, your sons are all well adjusted, your children are all well adjusted. I want to learn I want to learn to be a wife. I mean, you would be floored at that opportunity, right? And it's something nobody wants to do, and we as society, if it's not found on the internet, I guess it's not really of any value anymore. But reaching out to some older women who have had happy relationships, have had happy marriages, whose husbands come home every day. They don't go to the bar after work. They go directly home. They go home to their wife, even though now they're 55. Their children have grown, and I mean, this is me in a nutshell. I'm 53 years old. I don't go if I go to the bank or I go to grab a couple of things on my way home, but I come directly home from work.
Gosh, your life is boring.
I do have a boring life, and I like it that way. I like a boring life. But folks, like I say, this we always want to leave these when we're talking about this stuff. It's not here to complain or to gripe. We want to offer you solutions, and that solution is most people make things harder than what it has to be. Ladies, if you're looking for a man and you've failed at finding the right man, or you've had a couple of long-term relationships and they've fallen apart, and you see yourself as kind of what Penny was pointing to here, that you've kind of neglected home duties to pursue a career, ask yourself if that's what you want 20 years from now. Is it going to be that you have the career that's going to be the most important thing, or is it going to be that you have a loving or fulfilling relationship that's going to be the most important thing? So ask yourself that, and if that's what you want, and you can be honest with yourself, and you can say, you know what, I don't really like to cook. And I have to believe that anybody who doesn't like to cook just has not put in the time, because cooking is actually enjoyable. And when you're cooking for the people you love, it should be even more enjoyable. When you realize that you are the lifeline to your family, you are the one who makes them happy with the quality of the meals. You are the one who helps them remain healthy with the quality of the meals. You should even if you don't enjoy cooking, you should look at it as
It's power.
it's power. Maybe the most powerful role in the entire house, ultimately. The one who's cooking and providing the meals is probably the most powerful person in the relationship because you are swaying people's moods and attitudes and values and I can only say this. We have 4 adult children. All of them are well adjusted. All of them seem like they're in very happy relationships. Like I say, we have yet to meet our one possible future daughter-in-law just because of a distance situation. But all of our children are well adjusted. We have no children who suffer from any crazy maladies. We don't have any children with depression. We don't have any children with
On medication.
medications. All of them are healthy and pursuing careers and and like I said, and like Penny had said, all of them are in relationships and long-term relationships, and that probably started ultimately at home. And we could lift ourselves up and say, well, because we were such good role models, but it probably had just as much to do with the fact that our children were healthy. Our children were they were given sustenance, and it wasn't just a pizza out of a cardboard box, or they were home cooked meals. There was love put into a meal. Even when Penny was not the happiest, she cooked, right? And I used to tease her once in a while. You better not, don't cook when you're angry. I don't want you cooking when you're
That's
angry.
true.
Don't cook when you're angry.
No, you don't
Don't
cook when
don't
you're angry.
don't cook when you're angry.
But that answers why we don't go to weddings anymore because they just don't last.
We always feel like we had a couple of years where we were thinking as we went to these weddings and we attended and gave gifts. We were like, well, and then we found out people were getting divorced within a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years. And we were like, do we get our gift back? Can we like can I send a card? Say, hey, you didn't even make the 7-year itch. I could let you off the hook at the 7-year itch, but I kind of want my gift back. So yeah, so that's where the rule for not attending weddings comes from, is that there's been so many that failed, and some of them didn't even make. I mean, it seems like a ton of them didn't make 2 or 3 years. So
everyone, just think about what value you bring to a relationship.
And women, ladies out there, don't think we're beating up on you, because we're going to do one of these for the men as well. And I'm not going to be kind to the men either, because there's a lot lacking in young men these days. So
always remember that life doesn't get better.
You get better.
We'll talk to you next time.